Hey guys, I'm back again. This is Rob Coles with Armchair Conversations. Tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about uniqueness and your own formula, what makes you you. And a little bit maybe about breaking rules and just kind of finding ways to personalize your space, growth, and place. Basically, I've been sitting around thinking. I've been watching some movies and just hanging around and thinking about my day and thinking about some of the things that uh, inspired me to grow. And so we were sitting there. Basically, I'm watching TV, and I saw saw the start of this show called Empire that's out now. And it sparked some stuff in my brain. I figured I'd sit down and have an armchair conversation about your own formula, what makes you you. Um, One of the things that I found with people is we have no problem like wanting to be more, wanting to be different, wanting to be better, wanting to be something that maybe we're not presently, but we would wish to become. We have no problem even looking at other people and saying, hey, oh my God, they're this way, they're that way. I wish I was this way. I wish I was that way. But there are some things that are unique about you that are your own formula. They're some of the things that got you to the place where you are. They're some of the things that have given you the energy and the ability to even grasp for the things that you want. There are things that, you know, you should leave behind. Okay. If you're trying to be a better person, you want to be different than what you've been. Yeah, you should leave some things behind. Okay. Like, let's say robbing banks, or I'm being silly, but you get what I'm saying. There's some things that are not going to help you get to the next level of who you want to be. Um, and again, I'm not one of those people that says that everybody who wants to become a better person has to be this amazing entrepreneurial, uber billionaire successful person. I think you need to be happy though. Whatever growth that you're after, I think that it needs to ultimately make you happy, give you passion to wake up every day and do what you do, and to figure out your why. I mean, I'm doing some of that myself. I'm trying to figure out my whys, um, why I do what I do. But I'm also realizing that some of the things that help me to get to this level are not things that should be discarded. So let's talk about that. If music of a certain type and style and maybe the way you go out and socialize, or the way that you dress that makes you feel good, the way that certain types of books or movies that move you helped you to have the energy and the drive and the desire to be someone better than you were, and someone more like who you are inside, then there are some of those things you should keep. Now, if those things are blocking you from your goal, okay, I can understand that you won't keep them. But if they're not blocking you from your goal, then you should keep them. Like, for example, there is something about music that has always changed my mood, given me energy, um, and movies. Um, Anybody who knows me pretty well, at least gets to know me more than just the cursory stuff. Because I do know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people. But anybody who's actually spending any time with me in my everyday mode, in the days when I'm not so happy and not so positive and not so, for lack of a better word, set apart, aloof, whatever you want to call it. Because growing up as a kid, it's another story. But I was very, very shocked to know how different a perception of me most of my peers had than what I thought that I was portraying. But anyway, but music and movies are things that move me very deeply so. I like to read too, and I like a lot of stuff. And I think that that's good. I always wanted to be kind of like a Renaissance man, and I like a lot of stuff. But music and movies in particular move me very much. in particular music that is, whether it's from jazz all the way down to even, country or bluegrass or something. But if it has something, that little something, and you know what it is when you hear something of quality, or you read something of quality, or you see something of quality that speaks to you. There's just that little something in it that just sparks you, helps your mood, changes your state, gets your blood pumping even. Um, those are the things that have always helped me. And my mood changes. So there might be a day when jazz is really speaking to me that day and I'm feeling really good. There might be a day when I might hear a country song that torques my snooty, as they could say. I mean, I'm gonna say a lot of pootie tang type words. You need to just get over it. Um, there are things, depend on the day. And same thing with movies. But in particular, some of the movies that really, really speak to me are things like With Valor. I like to see the underdogs win. I like to see people of skill win. I like to see people who strive for a goal, and will put their all on the line, their heart and their soul on the line, whether it's in a sport or music or art or science or whatever it is. So, I'm the guy that watches the Rocky movies. I'm the guy that likes the martial arts movies where you have the training montages with the master, those kind of things. The army pictures where the guys knuckle down and win the day, and they give their all. And even the old period pieces, that kind of stuff gets me going. And what I'm saying is, what it is for you is what you need to embrace and keep. So if in your striving to get to this next level, and let's say you somebody who has a little bit of street in them, okay, and or more than a little bit of street for that matter, and say you're trying to get somewhere in life. Maybe some of the stuff in the street didn't get you very far, but maybe now you want to become like a professional person, worker who works professionally, or maybe you want to own your own business, or maybe you just want to have a better image for getting a job, or talking to people, meeting new people, going places that you never got to go before. And maybe there are some things you have to give up, but there's probably a lot of things that you don't. Okay, because your style and your smile and your uniqueness is cultivated by that cauldron of things that have bubbled all around you and cooked you, for lack of a better word, into this person that you become. So there are some things about your street that people might still like, and you should keep that. There are some people that don't, and you can tell. And I mean, that's where you hear all these bullshit words like being a sellout and all this kind of stuff. But the truth is, you do have to let go of some stuff to move on to the next level. But there are some things that are intrinsically you that you should keep. And if it's something that is what enlivens you and makes you lively, not only to yourself, but to other people, and it is something that has opened doors for you, then you should keep that. Why would you discard that? That's like cutting off your thumb before playing video games. It makes no sense. Okay. So you keep those things. Now, I'm not saying that in the keeping of it, you may not have to refine it somehow to make it more suitable for where you're going. Okay. Because this is evolution, people. I mean, you're evolving. And evolving means that things have to change. So like if dancing and doing your thing is what gives you some energy and gives you some joy and some health, or whatever you got to do to keep yourself going in the tough times, or what pumps you up to go out there and give your best every day for whatever it is, then you need to keep that. Now, if dancing naked, okay, in public is what gave you that, and that's not going to help you get where you need to go, then obviously you need to modify. Okay. Or if you haven't been dancing naked and you need to make that money, then you also need to modify that. Okay. But again, my point is, you have to modify a little maybe, but you need to keep the things that are intrinsically you. So if being out there and seeing people who are striving every day keeps you hungry, keeps you focused, keeps you moving, you should do that. If You get motivated by the person who you've now seen who is getting somewhere and has sacrificed some things and maybe has foregone some of the stuff that maybe you don't really care about, but it was a part of your upbringing, and you may have to let that stuff go. And you find that a lot in different cultural situations, because depending on your culture, sometimes you are lambasted for letting go of certain things. Um, in favor of something that's going to move you forward. I'm going to say to you that both things are necessary. You got to let go of some stuff to move up, because it's kind of like alchemy. Uh, in alchemy, they talk about things like weight, okay, and transmutation. And basically, the lead transmuting into gold is the symbol. It's not really something that necessarily happens. I don't think it's impossible, but it's not something that normally happens. But it's a symbol for getting rid of the crap in your life and transferring it, transmuting it, changing it into gold, something that's valuable that you can use. And they usually talk about lead, because at that time, lead was not necessarily the valuable commodity that it can be in certain circles and circumstances today versus gold. Okay, and to them, gold was a valuable commodity. But it's about transmuting yourself, changing yourself, keeping the things that work and using them to turn that gold, which is you. Um, there's a time factor involved too, though, in that alchemy. There's a time factor as far as the time it takes to transmute that. And all I'm saying to you is, getting back to the original subject, you have to hold on to the things that are going to enliven you and strengthen you toward your goal. And you don't really let anybody tell you to get rid of them, because anybody who wants to get rid of the things that made you you, or intrinsically you, probably isn't going to help you with your goal, unless those things are just so diametrically opposed to what you want that you have to get rid of them. That's another topic for another time. But some people are going to tell you to get rid of things just because they don't like them. Okay, they don't like that thing about you. But that has nothing to do with whether or not it enlivens you. It has to do with their problems and what they don't like and their personal issues. Okay, because we all have them. Because listen, in my talks with you guys running around, hanging out, doing whatever, there are going to be things that I don't like about you. Just like you won't like things about me. But if it's something intrinsic to me that's giving me spirit and enlivening my life, I have to keep it, even if you don't like it. And you have to make the decision whether to hang out or move on. And the same with me. Now, that being said, again, we want to keep the things in our lives that are going to give us strength and power. For me, I like music of all kinds, and depending on my day, I may listen to something that you may find completely objectionable. And by the same token, there are days when I may listen to something that everybody likes, that's generally accepted. Okay. And by the same token, there are times I'll watch a video that is maybe more aggressive than certain people can tolerate or whatever. Or, again, I grew up with martial arts and bodybuilding in my background, so I'm not a stranger to violence. And I don't find it as distasteful as some of my other friends that are grew up in more peaceful circumstances, and in circumstances where violence was not praised and maybe even outright feared. Um, but it enlivens me at times when I need a boost, or I need that, for lack of a better word, macho, manly, strengthening effect of visualizing and seeing someone who is willing to take it to the next level, take it to another level, take it to a level that is uncomfortable in society. Um, and that may motivate me one day. Then there are other days when I am extremely soft and relaxed, and I need to be motivated by kindness and sweetness and everything like that. And it's okay to have a balance. Again, I'm trying to keep these short, but I just want to touch on the fact that your own formula is all the things that have enlivened you and kept you to this point, that are good for you, that keep you moving forward. You, of course, drop the dead weight, and we'll talk about that again another time. But you keep the things that are you, and you keep the things that strengthen your spirit and give you joy and happiness and give you juice and zest for life and keep you um, empowered and enlivened and able to meet the challenges that come with this growth path head on. So if you've had a bad day and you need to sing it out, then you need to sing it out. Okay, and it don't matter whether it's Aretha or if it's Kenny Chesney. Don't know why that name just came to me, but I remember. Um, or if your enlivening means you got to watch Fried Green Tomatoes or Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn, do it, because the things that make you you are going to give you the strength you need to get to the next level. Um, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to stop it right here and just say that, again, you got to develop your own formula, what makes you you. And in part two, we'll play with that concept a little bit more. So come on back for the next set. And thanks for sharing my armchair with me.